You want to see something amazing? Solve path to Sudoku I'm about to show you is so amazing. It's going to make your jaw drop. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go. And with that, it's solving time. What can we solve here in the green cell? You may notice you have a 1 here in row 2, a 1 here in column 2, column 1, and in row 7. The only place a 1 can go in block 7 down here is right here. Greetings, friend. I'm showing you the best puzzles of 2024. This is a single pale rose by Sulfur, and you can kind of see that the givens look like a rose. Here's the stem, and then here are the flower part of the rose. Solve path is so good. It's going to make your jaw drop. Thank you, Sulfur, for this amazing puzzle. And with all good puzzles, you want to latch on the intended solve path as quickly as possible. Check out block 1. You can see you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sulfur is begging you to fill out this block. You'll notice that with this 9 right here, that can only be a 7, 8. With this 8, that can only be a 7, 9. And then with the 7, that can only be an 8, 9. And then the same thing happens right here in block 2. You'll notice you have the same 6 givens, and so this has to be a 7, 8, or a 9. So he's giving you a lot of buy value cells, BVCs, to start off with. You know they have to be important to the solve. Block 4, same thing. It's all 7, 8, 9. So you take out the 9 right there, take out the 8 right there, and then you take out the 7 right there. And you'll notice that these end up being naked pairs. Okay? So what you have is a 7, 9 here, 1, 2, 3, 6, and 8 in column 2. That's going to be a 4, 5 naked pair. But we can do better over here with this 7, 8 naked pair and the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 9. You can actually solve this cell now for a 3. And then down here in column 1 with the 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, just a 2 and a 6. With this 6, that's going to be your 6, that's going to be your 2. A lot of symmetry going on because we can do the same thing over here in block 3. You'll notice you have an 8, 9 naked pair right there, a 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 in the row. This is going to be a 3 or a 6. That 6 is going to help you solve the 6 right here and a 3 right there. In the corner, bum, bum, bum. 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, 7, 9. We just need 2 and a 5 to finish up row 2. And then in row 3, with the 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you need a 1, a 4. But this one's going to help you solve a 1 right here and a 4 right there. And we're not done with the ones. You got these ones all looking into block 6. So you can solve for a 1 right there in block 6. And then you have 4 ones all looking into block 8. So you can solve for the last one there in block 8. And then with the 2s, with these 2s and this 2, you can solve for 2 here in block 8 as well. And now it's time to do a little bit of marking because we want to find all the restrictions and see why we have all these buy value cells over here. So with the 2s, you'll notice with these 2s, there's only 2 places for a 2 in block 9. So all I'm going to do is Snyder notation. Anytime in a 3 by 3 block, 2 possibilities for a candidate, you mark it, and in case you solve one of these cells, you can solve the other right away. And I'm going to highlight something for you. It's going to be these cells right here. And I'm going to get back to why they're so important in just a little bit. But we want to continue your Snyder marking. Working the 3s go up here in block 6. These 2 3s and this 3, Snyder marks in block 6. And then in block 8 with these 2 3s and this 3, Snyder marks right there. Okay, how about the 4s? You'll notice the 4 coming down column 5 and across row 5. You can do Snyder 4s in block 5. And that's all the 4s the Snyder marking you can do. How about the 6s? Well, with this 6 and this 6, you have only 2 possibilities for 6 right there. Okay, you can see that could possibly be a 6, that could possibly be a 3. I'll get back to what's going on with the orange here in just a little bit. Also with the 6s, with this 6 and these 2 6s, we have Snyder 6s in block 6. And then with these 2 6s, Snyder 6s in block 8. What about the 7s? I'm going to make the Snyder marks here. This is going to help out a little bit in block 1, block 2, and in block 4 for what we're doing here to do the amazing jaw-dropping solve. And then with the 8s, you could put 8s right here, and put 8s right here, and you can put 8s right there. But we can also do 8s in block 9. So these two 8s be marked right there. And I almost forgot, you got with these two 7s, you can put 7s right here in block 9 as well. And then with the 9s, a lot going off these 7, 8s, and 9s. I'm going to put the Snyder marks in blocks 1, 2, and 4, and then in block 9 as well. You see how the 7, 8, 9s are in block 3, and they're in block 7, so they kind of push restrictions here into block 9. There's no more easy solves here, but there's one more thing you can do that'll make this puzzle a little bit easier. And before I show you that, I want to hear from you. What did you do at this point in the puzzle? Please, 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 please put it in the comments. I need your feedback to help grow the best Sudoku community on YouTube. The other viewers appreciate it as well, and I'll respond to each and every comment. The next thing you can do, I call this an intermediate step. It's not an advanced strategy, but if you find this, then it will make the rest of the solving a little bit easier. Look across row 5, I did highlight these two cells. What is significant about those cells? You might notice there's where can a 3 go here in row 5? Can't go here because of this 3. Can't go there because of this 3. And it cannot go here or here because of these two 3s. So the 3s are limited to these two cells. Okay? Where can a 6 go here in row 5? Well, because of this 6 can't be here. It can't go right there. Can't be there because of that 6. Can't be there or there because of these two 6s. So you'll notice the 3s and 6s are limited to the same two cells here in row 5. And so that makes them a hidden pair. Well, by a hidden pair, what that means is since the 3 and 6 have to be somewhere here in row 5, they're restricted to those two cells. No other candidate can be in those cells. So we want to mark that 3, 6 because it's going to reduce other possible candidates from those two cells. This is a nice little intermediate step. It's going to set us up for the next thing. And so when you get to this point where there's no more easy solves, Snyder notation is taking you as far as you can go, you got to start looking at advanced strategies. And we want to either go for the single candidate strategies or the more advanced buy value sell strategies. Now we have a lot of BVCs, but they're doing something very interesting. And what we want to focus on now is right here in this block. In fact, I'm going to color this cell green because this is a really important cell. And so if we were to fill out all of these cells here in block 5, because this is where the action is going to take place, what would you have here? This is going to be a 6, 7, 8, 9. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This cell would be a 4, 7, 8, 9. This cell can only be a 3 and a 6 now. This cell would be a 7, 8, or a 9. This cell would be a 3, 4, 7, 8, or 9. And this cell, that green cell, right now, it looks like it could be a 3, 7, an 8, or a 9. So what are these wonderful BVCs doing, and how can they affect this block 5? I'm about to show you that. Let's start with the 9s. We're going to look at some single candidate strategies. If I click on here, where can all the 9s be in this puzzle? Well, now they can be here. They can be there, where I put the Snyder marks. Here. Right here. Not there. Or there. Right there. Right there. I'm kind of using the Snyder marks to help me out there. And we'll remove these 9s. And we'll color all that in blue. Okay. A couple cool things going on here. We'll show you. And again, we're going to be doing this for a little bit. You got to watch all this if you want to get to the critical solve of this green cell, be able to move forward with the puzzle. You might notice here in block 1, you have the 9s. There's only 2 of them, right? And so you have what's called a conjugate pair. So either a 9's there or it's going to be there, right? If this is not a 9, that cell has to be a 9. It's coming out of block 1 in the row. Then you might notice right here, you have another conjugate pair of 9s coming down the column, right? Either a 9's there or it's there. But whenever you have this situation where there's a block, where there's a conjugate pair coming out one of the rows and a different conjugate pair coming out one of the columns, you found a Sudoku 2-string kite. So what does that mean? Well, it means that either this cell right here is a 9. If it's a 9, anything that sees it can't be a 9. If it's not a 9, it would have to be a 7, which would put a 9 right here. This cell could not be a 9, and you'll see is this cell right here has to be a 9. So either this cell's a 9, if it's not a 9, that cell has to be a 9. So anything that sees these two cells, you can eliminate a 9. Our green cell falls into that. So we can eliminate a 9 from that green cell right there. All right. And so I'll actually remove all this, and I'll remove that 9 from the green cell. We're not done. Let's get rid of the oranges from here, because that's not the only 2-string kite we have with 9s. Start right here. You have another conjugate pair. Now block 1 going straight down. And you have a conjugate pair across row 1 going out. There's two 2-string kites coming out of block 1 here, in row 1 and column 2 now. And you'll see that either 9's here. If it's not here, have to be there. That can't be a 9. This would be a 9. So these two cells see this cell. You can remove a 9 from right there. And so now 9s cannot be in either one of those cells because of the 2-string kite. And we're not done. We're just getting started. This is really beautiful stuff. Let's move on to the 8s now. Okay, I'm going to get rid of all the blues. And let's focus on where the 8s can be in this puzzle. So in SudokuPad, you click on a digit and it'll show you which solved digits there are for a particular candidate. All right, so we'll get all these 8s in here, and then we'll go into our very important block 5. All those can't be 8s, that can't be 8s, and these can't be 8s. Let's remove the colors from these blue cells while we're at it. Makes it a little bit easier. Okay, do we have 2-string kites with the 8s? Let's try this out of block 1 again. You might notice conjugate pair, row 3, and a conjugate pair coming down column 1. So an 8's here. If it's not here, that would be an 8. This couldn't be an 8. That'd be an 8. So this cell right here cannot be an 8. Okay, that's cool. And so you eliminated 8 from there. We're not done. In fact, there's something really cool I'm about to show you. It goes beyond just a 2-string kite. Do we have another 2-string kite that we can find here using block 1? And the answer is yes. Because you can go down here now and you can go across row 1. You'll notice an 8 can be here. If it's not here, that'd be an 8. Won't be an 8. This cell would have to be an 8. So an 8's in one of these two cells. You can eliminate an 8 from right there. All right, so remove one more blue. You're like, okay, Timberlake, that's great. What you said there's one more thing. What is the one more thing? I'm about to show you. We are trying to eliminate an 8 from this cell, right? This is our green cell. We want to eliminate candidates. But I didn't eliminate any candidates with the 2-string kites. Is there something else we can do to eliminate an 8 from right here? And the answer is yes. We're actually seeing it. I'm going to do a little bit different coloring here. I'll use my yellow. Look across row 1, right? We've got a conjugate pair, 8, 9, both in row 1. Conjugate pair coming down column 1. So this would be one tip, and then a conjugate pair coming down column 6. That's another tip. You might notice here is very similar to 2-string kite. This cell is an 8. If it's not an 8, because of the conjugate pair, that would be an 8. That can't be an 8, and this cell would be an 8. So we know an 8 has to be at least in one of these pink, purple cells. In that situation, we can remove an 8 from any cell that sees both of these. So there's not an 8 right there, but we already removed an 8 from right there. But you can remove an 8 from this cell right here. This is a Sudoku skyscraper. You can see it's an upside down skyscraper. But whenever you have the bases in the same row and you have two conjugate pairs coming down in this nice 3x3 band, and they're in different rows, you found a Sudoku skyscraper. And so now we've eliminated this down to just a 3 or a 7. All right, I'm gonna remove all of the blues, and we can remove the yellows now, and we can remove those purples. Okay, we're down to a 3 or 7. Can we get to the last solve here? Well, we're going to try with the 7s, right? I think that's what Sulfur wanted you to do. This is a perfect puzzle. This is so cool where we're going here. And you can see it just kind of lends itself in. You want to look and see what you can do with these bi-value cells over here in blocks 1, 2, and 4. And when you look for it, you'll find there's so much that you can do with that. All right, I'm going to use my BVCs. I'm going to do that. And we got, looks like those places for our 7s. Okay. Do we have two-string kite? And let's check this out here. You can look right here now in block 1, same thing. Conjugate pair right there. Conjugate pair across row 2. That's a 7, it's not a 7. That's a 7, no 7. That would be a 7. So you can eliminate a 7 from right here. Okay, that can't be a 7 anymore. Got it. All right, and of course we want to look here at this wonderful 3-7. You might notice that even if you do a nice two-string kite right there, we already have that 3-6 hidden pair. You don't need to eliminate a 7. 7's already eliminated. And we didn't, and you're not able to eliminate a 7 from here using any of these two-string kites over here. Okay, so you're like, all right, Timberlake, did you lead us astray? No, this is the beauty of this puzzle. Sulfur really wants you to see and experience several different advanced strategies here. And there's one more advanced strategy that he set up perfectly with all these two-string kites that you just got to see. Check out this cell right here. What can that be? It's an 8-9, right? You'll notice it sees these two cells right here. So you have all three paired possibilities of the digits 7, 8, and 9. You have 7, 8 here, 7, 9 right there, and 8, 9 right there. One of the cells, this 8, 9, sees these two cells. So this is our pivot. You usually do pinchers. You have this situation. You may notice that if this was an 8, this cell has to be a 7. And this is a 9, this cell would have to be a 7. So no matter what the value of the orange cell is, one of these blues has to be a 7. We can eliminate a 7 from any cell that sees both blue cells. And guess which cell sees both blue cells? Right here. This is a Sudoku XY wing and set up so perfectly by Sulfur. I just love this. I don't know about you, but once you remove that 7 from right there, it's so satisfying to get to the next solve here. This is just completely beautiful. And we're not done. There's another intermediate step here you need to see, but you worked really hard, so it is time we can fill in that cell as a 3. And you can learn more about two-string kites in this tutorial. I'll give that the props. I mean, this XY wing was beautiful, but really the kites did the majority of the work. All right, you want to look now for another intermediate solve. Like we did the intermediate solve with the 3-6 hidden pair, you want to do something similar here in row 6. You have a 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So we have a 4, 7, 8, 9. Well, with this 4, 7, that can be 8, 9. That can't be a 3 anymore. I'll get back to that. And then this cell, it looks like it could be a 4, 7, or a 9 because of this 8. You may notice here we have a nice naked pair 8 and 9. And since the 8 and 9 are the only two values for these two cells in that row, then you can remove an 8, 9 from any other cell in that row, right? You can't, if you put a 9 here, you wouldn't have enough values to put in those two orange cells. And so now you create a nice 4, 7 naked pair to go with the 8, 9 naked pair. And so let's see where this takes us, right? You solve the 3 right here. It displaces that Snyder 3. Whenever you displace the Snyder mark, you can solve another cell immediately. And that displaces Snyder 6, okay? Which is going to displace this Snyder 6. You can solve this cell for a 6. All right, displacing this Snyder 6, and you can solve the last 6 right there. What about these 3s? Well, this 3 and this 3, you might notice now with these two 3s and these two 3s, we displace that Snyder 3 and solve for 3 here in block 8. And since we did some work and removed some 9s, let's check out what the 9s can do here, right? What you have is, where can a 9 go now in column 4? Can't be here because of this 9. Can't be there because of that naked pair, and it can't be here because of this 9. So you can solve for a 9 right here in block 8. And that's going to displace your Snyder 9 right here. You can solve this cell now for a 9. All right, and then with those two 9s, you could put, well, I'd say you put Snyder 9s right there, but you don't have to, because now these end up being a pointing pair of 9s. And so the 9s are restricted here in block 5 to these two cells. So a 9 cannot be anywhere outside of that row. So it can't be here because that 9 array, but it can't be here anymore. And so what you know then is, with these two 9s, the 9 has to go right there. You also know with this 9 that you can disambiguate the 8, 9 right here. And we can get some more solves going. I'll displace that Snyder 9, displace the Snyder 7, displace the Snyder 8. And now this cell has to be a 9 right there. All right, and then because of this 7, you can solve for the 8 right here. We're going to get up here into blocks 1 and 2, right? That's got to be a 9. That's going to be your 7. That's going to be your 8. All right, it's going to be a 7 here, a 9 there, and 8 right there. We want to do what the experts do. You want to sweep the blocks now. You're going to go in here and just knock out each of these candidates as we move forward with our solve. Because of this 8, you can displace that Snyder 8 and solve for an 8 right here. And then we can look and see what we can do with row 5. You have a full house. There's only one possibility remaining. That's got to be a 2. I disambiguate the 5, 2 in block 3. Displace that Snyder 2. Solve for 2 here. Displace that Snyder 7. Okay, and with these two 7s and this 7, we solve for 7 right here. Disambiguate in the 4, 7. And we've completed block 5. You did a lot of great work to get to this point. And with this 4, now that's got to be a 7. We have 2 more cells here, a 4 and a 5. I got my 5 right there. That's got to be a 5. That's got to be a 4. Then I'm just going to carry that down to the next block. I don't see a 4 in block 9. It can only go right there. This has to be your 5. And now we can disambiguate the 4, 5 and sweep out block 7. So what we have left here is in block 8, you look at row 8, the only thing missing is an 8. How appropriate. And then you have a 4 and a 5 remaining. So I'm just going to pull down the first digit I see. That's a 5. The 5 right there, and our last digit is a 4. Check out this next video to see another jaw-dropping solve. Thank you so much for watching.